let's just say this is your product. And of course, the product backlog has multiple items in there. And we also know that product backlog can accept changes anytime. So as a chain, 2 items or 2 user stories, let's say we call it user story 1 and user story 2. They have been accepted by the customer. And customer also has provided these user story 1 and 2 as a priority, right? That this should be prioritized in the upcoming. You have a timeline. This timeline is, so for instance, this user story 1 and 2, this has been accepted on the day 1. So when this happened, it was the day 1 of that time. So this is a release that we are talking about. So although you have a whole backlog, but this release is actually going to be delivering these 2 user stories together. Let's just make it up because, of course, in the practical world, the releases are way more extensive. So the customer wants it at a priority, and customer wants these 2 stories together. Let's say these are not stories, these are, so this is our use case. 2 features are prioritized and they are needed in the next release, which is is going to be released or launched actually on the day 12. And we are standing at the day. Our sprint structure looks like this. We have a sprint of 5 days. So for the next release, we have we have 2 sprints, sprint 1 and sprint 2. Although before our release, you should have some hibernation period or blackout time, right? So you should have that, like maybe in this case, like you just have that 1 day in between. So this is the sprint 1 and sprint 2. And sprint 1 is completing the feature 1. And sprint 2 is completing the feature 2. So this is how we have assigned. Now, please keep that in consideration that cycle time and lead time is usually with respect to work, with respect to the work items, scope of work, or backlog items in case of HR. So now we need to understand the cycle time of feature 1, the lead time of feature 2, and the same thing for lead time of feature 1 as well, and cycle time of feature 2, and the lead time of feature 2 as well. Let me again repeat the scenario. 2 features are prioritized, received and prioritized by the customer in the next 2 sprints, which are going to be delivered together in the form of a release. So release is so these 2 are these 2 sprints. So release is nothing but like sprint 1 plus sprint 2 together. So these 2 sprints are making a release. So whatever work we are doing in sprint 1 and sprint 2, that are going to be released together on the day 12. And each sprint is 5 day long, starting from 2 to 6, second day to the 6th day. And then the other one is 7th day to the 11th day. And we have, as a team, we have organized the work in this way that sprint 1 is going to do feature 1 first, and sprint 2 is going to do feature 2, like in those 5 days. And both features on the day 12 are going to be released together to the customer. Now, for both work items, feature 1 and feature 2, we need to understand the cycle time and lead time. And you guys are going to tell. So cycle time is the work taken by the team to complete that work, even if that work is not released. This is also a possibility that by the time the work is completed, the work is right away released. But not necessarily always this is the case. So cycle time is the work is started, the work completed, and whatever time team takes in between, excluding any off time or any intervals or so. So if I just talk about the cycle time of F1 and cycle time of F2, what would that? Anyway, in days.
5.
For both?
No, each 5.
Yes, that's correct. Cycle time of F1 and cycle time for F2 is 5 days. Why? Because the work for F1 is it started on second day and it's completed on sixth day. Although the F1 is released on 11th day when the whole release is going to be delivered to the customer, but the cycle time is independent of when the work is being released. The cycle time is like that work, the time that we take for that work to start and complete, even if it is not released or delivered. And same is the case with sprint 2 as well. For the sprint 2, the work on feature 2 is starting on the 7th day, which is the first day of sprint 2, and it is completed on 11th day, which is the last day of sprint 2, or for that F2. So on the work on F2 is these 5 days. Although the work has been created on the first day, but we don't care about it. The work was actually started on 7th day on F2 and it was completed on 11th. Even if it is not released and even if it was assigned a week prior, because cycle time is independent of that. So 5 days, 5 days each. Now lead time is the time that you take for a task or a work or a story between its creation time or its assignment time versus its delivery time is what lead time is. So from this use case, what is the lead time of F1 and F2?
Yeah, delivery time, if I say for F1 is 6 days.
Lead time. Lead time
Sorry,
is when,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So if I look from perspective, the development team, like this is 6 days. Yeah, work completion, yes.
12
Work
days both.
completion and work delivered as well. Because work
Okay.
completion could be
Okay,
earlier,
but
but work
delivered,
delivered could be
then
later.
it is 12. 12.
So when was the task created?
The one.
When was
Ma'am,
that F1
12 days for both
requested?
the thing.
12 days, exactly. Very good, Mega. It's 12 days.
Because the tasks were created at the same time for both.
Because this request was reached to us on the day 1 for both F1 and F2. And the request, the delivery of F1 and F2 is being done on the day 12. No matter how F1 and F2 has been started and completed in between this time, both F1 and F2 were requested on the same day and they are being delivered the same day as well. So 12 days for both F1 and F2. If this had been this way, that F1 and F2 was requested on day 1, but F1 after the completion during sprint 1, after the completion, it's right away delivered over here. Then what would have been the lead time for F1?
6 days.
6 days in that case. And if I just keep the delivery time of F2 is still 12, then what would have been the lead time of F2? Like F2 was assigned day 1, but it was delivered day 12.
12 days.
In that case, it would be 12 days. But if the use case was that the F2 was created on like day 6 or day 7, if this request was received on the day 6 during the sprint review meeting, and we just got that updated in the product backlog, in that case, it would have been 7 days. I mean, there could be multiple use cases that you can create with this. But with my use case, both are 12 days, both are 5 days for cycle time and 12 days for lead time.